Sunglasses may be the most profitable magic trick in men's fashion. Take two small pieces of tinted material, attach them to a frame, place a famous logo on the side, and suddenly $40 becomes $400. The strange part is that most men barely question it. They will inspect the leather on a shoe, check the stitching on a jacket, read 20 reviews before buying a watch. But sunglasses? They put them on, tilt their head slightly, imagine themselves stepping out of a vintage Porsche, and hand over the credit card. Because sunglasses are not really sold as eye protection. They are sold as personality, confidence, mystery, status, and occasionally the fantasy that nobody can tell you we're awake until 2 in the morning watching videos about lawn equipment. In 2026, the sunglasses business is more image-driven than ever. Many famous fashion houses do not build their eyewear in some secret workshop behind the runway. Their frames are often developed and produced through large specialist eyewear groups under licensing agreements. That does not automatically mean the sunglasses are bad, but it does mean the name on the temple may be doing far more work than the material, the hinges, or the lenses. Today, we are looking at 5 sunglasses brands that often ask you to pay luxury prices for surprisingly ordinary eyewear. Then I'll show you 3 brands that offer stronger design identity, better optical purpose, and style that does not depend entirely on someone recognizing the logo. And one important point before we begin, darker lenses do not automatically protect your eyes better. Look for UV 400 or 100% UV and UV protection. Polarization helps reduce glare. It is useful, but it is not the same thing as UV protection. Now let's begin with a brand that can turn a thick plastic frame into a small financial emergency. Number 5, Gucci. Gucci sunglasses do not whisper. They enter the room before you do. Oversized frames, gold hardware, green and red stripes, double G logos placed exactly where everyone can see them. And sometimes enough branding to make the actual person wearing the sunglasses feel like a supporting character. To be fair, Gucci has a very clear design language. The brand understands spectacle. It understands exaggeration. And when the right person wears the right frame, Gucci sunglasses can look fantastic. On a confident dresser with a strong wardrobe, they can feel bold, eccentric, and deliberately excessive. But on the wrong person, they do something else. They look rented. That is the danger with highly recognizable luxury sunglasses. The frame is not simply part of the outfit, it becomes the entire argument. If the rest of your clothing is quiet, poorly fitted, or uncertain, the sunglasses do not elevate it. They expose the imbalance. You are wearing a $400 announcement above a $40 shirt, and from a value perspective, many Gucci frames are difficult to defend. Conventional acetate, ordinary construction, standard fashion lenses. Then a huge premium for branding, design positioning, and the emotional pleasure of wearing Gucci. There is nothing dishonest about that. Gucci is selling fashion. But do not confuse fashion impact with optical superiority. The double G logo does not improve contrast, it does not strengthen the hinge, and it does not make the frame better suited to your face. At full retail, Gucci sunglasses are often style first, substance second, and value somewhere behind the velvet rope. Number 4. Versace sunglasses are what happens when subtlety takes the summer off. The Medusa head is large, the gold details are louder, the temples are thick, and many designs look as though they were created specifically for arriving late at a beach club. That can be entertaining. Versace has never pretended to be quiet. The whole point is visual drama. If Gucci often looks like luxury fashion, Versace can look like luxury fashion after 3 espressos. And on the right face, it works. Strong features. Broad cheekbones. A confident haircut. A wardrobe with enough personality to support the frame. Then Versace sunglasses can look sharp, glamorous, and intentionally theatrical. But many men make a classic mistake. They buy an aggressive frame because they want to look confident. The frame does not create confidence, it magnifies whatever is already there. If you look comfortable wearing it, the effect is powerful. If you keep checking your reflection in every window, the sunglasses have won. The value problem is similar to Gucci. A lot of the perceived luxury comes from decorative hardware, recognizable symbols, and bold styling rather than superior optics or exceptional engineering. A golden Medusa is decoration. It is not structural reinforcement. Versace makes sense when the design genuinely suits your personality and you find it at a sensible price. But buying it only because the logo is visible is not personal style. It is brand-assisted shouting. Number 3. Prada is more dangerous because it often looks intelligent. The frames are cleaner, the shapes can be architectural, the branding is usually more controlled. Put on a pair of black Prada sunglasses and you may suddenly feel qualified to reject a hotel lobby because the chairs are too obvious. Prada understands modern minimalism. Its strongest frames can look sharp, sophisticated, and slightly severe. They often work particularly well with clean tailoring, monochrome outfits, crisp knitwear, and men who prefer a controlled visual identity. But minimalism has its own trap. When a design looks simple, people often assume every detail must be exceptional. Sometimes it is. Sometimes you are simply looking at a well-shaped black frame with a small triangle on the side. Remove the logo, remove the boutique lighting, remove the sales assistant telling you they are very Prada. Then ask the uncomfortable question, would you still pay $400? With a distinctive shape that fits your face perfectly, perhaps. With a basic rectangular frame that resembles 20 cheaper alternatives, probably not. Prada is worth considering when the silhouette genuinely changes your look, when the angle of the frame sharpens a rounder face, when the proportions add structure, when the design feels specific rather than generic. But buying a simple frame because it looks expensive is a weak reason. Minimalism is wonderful. Minimal value is less impressive. Number 2, Tom Ford eyewear may be the most seductive trap on this list. The shapes are masculine, the colors are sophisticated, the metal T detail is recognizable without looking desperate, and many frames look especially good on men over 40 because they balance classic proportions with just enough movie star confidence. Tom Ford sunglasses make promises. They promise a better hotel, a darker car, a wardrobe containing at least one jacket nobody is allowed to touch. You try them on and suddenly feel like a man who has a preferred table, never rushes, and knows the difference between 3 nearly identical bottles of whiskey. The brand is very good at this. Its eyewear often feels mature without becoming boring, stylish without becoming childish. Luxury without requiring a logo the size of a license plate. That is why the premium is so easy to accept. But once the emotional reaction passes, the product deserves a colder look. Many Tom Ford frames are attractive and well designed. But attractive design does not automatically explain a price approaching $500. The famous T is doing serious work. Tom Ford makes the most sense when the frame fits your face exceptionally well and becomes part of a consistent personal style. A restrained wardrobe, good tailoring, clean shoes, a confident, understated presence. Then the sunglasses can complete the picture. But if you are buying them because you hope the frame will create the entire picture, you are paying the brand to perform emotional labor. A tuxedo, an Aston Martin, and the soundtrack from a spy movie are not included. Number 1, Ray-Ban. Yes, Ray-Ban. Before someone throws a Wayfarer at the screen, listen carefully. Ray-Ban is not a bad sunglasses brand. Its best designs are among the most important sunglasses ever created. The aviator became part of 20th century military and popular culture. The Wayfarer helped define mid-century cool. Ray-Ban has real history, real influence, and silhouettes that still work decades later. That is exactly why it belongs at number 1. Because heritage can become a permission slip for overpaying. Ray-Ban has become the default answer for men who want to buy good sunglasses without thinking too hard. The name feels safe, the shapes are familiar, the decision appears sensible. But familiar does not always mean exceptional. The range is enormous. Construction varies, lens quality varies. Some frames feel substantial, others feel much more ordinary than the price suggests. And because the brand is so culturally established, men often stop assessing the actual product. They see the script logo and assume the work has already been done. Ray-Ban also creates a style problem. The classics are so recognizable that the wrong frame can make a man look as though he selected his face from a standard menu. An aviator does not suit everyone. A wayfarer does not automatically create timeless style. Some faces need softer lines, some need more width, some need less lens depth. Some men wear oversized aviators and accidentally look like a regional pilot trying to sell you a used boat. The issue is not the icon. The issue is using the icon without understanding your own proportions. Ray-Ban can absolutely be worth buying, especially when the lenses are good, the fit is right, and the price is reasonable. But paying full retail for an ordinary model simply because the name feels trustworthy is not a quality decision. It is brand autopilot. Ray-Ban does not belong in the trash, it belongs under inspection. Now let's move to 3 brands that offer something more valuable than a familiar logo. Number 3. American Optical. American Optical feels different from the fashion brands because it does not appear desperate to become relevant every summer. Its history stretches back to the 19th century, and the brand became closely connected with American military and aviation eyewear. That history is visible in the design. The frames feel purposeful. Balanced, uncomplicated, they are not trying to win a trend cycle. They are trying to look right for a very long time. Style-wise, American Optical works best on men who prefer quiet authority. A leather jacket, a clean Oxford shirt, workwear, military-inspired outerwear, a plain white t-shirt that actually fits properly. The frames have enough character to look intentional, but not so much branding that they dominate the face. This is especially valuable as men get older. Past a certain age, too much decoration can look as though the sunglasses are making a last-minute attempt to rescue the outfit. American Optical does the opposite. It lets the face remain the main event. The style is conservative, but not dull. Masculine, but not aggressive. Historic, but not costume. You are not wearing a fantasy of aviation. You are wearing a design that survived because the proportions were right. That is a much better form of heritage than a logo printed on a seasonal fashion frame. Number 2. Randolph Engineering. Randolph Engineering was founded in Massachusetts in 1973 and built its reputation around military specification aviator frames. That origin gives the brand a very specific character. Precise metalwork, clean geometry, minimal branding, a frame that feels like equipment rather than decoration. Randolph sunglasses are particularly good for men who want polish without looking overly styled. They work with tailoring, they work with a bomber jacket, they work with a polo shirt, they work with a simple summer shirt and a good watch. The frame adds control. That is the key word. A Randolph aviator does not look as casual or generic as many mass-market aviators. It feels more deliberate, the metal is often finer, the proportions are more considered, the overall impression is disciplined rather than flashy. That does not mean every man should wear one. Aviator-style frames can overwhelm narrow faces or pull long faces downward if the lenses are too deep. Fit still matters. But when the shape works, Randolph delivers something many designer brands struggle to offer: status without obvious status signaling. Nobody needs to recognize the logo. The frame itself looks serious. The construction becomes the branding. And that is exactly what good men's style should do. Reward attention without demanding it. Number 1. Maui Jim. Maui Jim began in Hawaii in the 1980s and built its identity around bright light, glare, color, and the experience of actually seeing better. That gives the brand a different starting point. Most fashion labels begin with the frame. Maui Jim begins with the view. Its lenses are the reason the brand exists. The colors appear richer, glare is reduced. Contrast improves. And on water, on the road, or during a bright summer afternoon, the difference can be immediate. But Maui Jim has historically had a style challenge. Lean sporty, some feel technical, some look more appropriate for deep-sea fishing than lunch at a good restaurant. That has improved. The brand now offers designs that balance performance with more refined shapes. And that is where Maui Jim becomes interesting for style-conscious men. You do not need to choose between looking good and seeing properly. The best Maui gym frames work because the styling does not pretend to be something else. They are relaxed, confident, practical. They suit linen shirts, summer tailoring, polos, resort wear, driving clothes, and the kind of wardrobe that values comfort without surrendering shape. They also communicate something refreshing. You bought sunglasses because you wanted excellent sunglasses, not because a fashion house decided eyewear would be a useful place to print its name. The logo is not the event, the experience is. And in a category built on illusion, that honesty feels almost luxurious. Before buying any sunglasses, ignore the brand for 30 seconds. Look at your face. Not the campaign, not the celebrity, not the price tag, your face. A square face often benefits from softer curves. A rounder face usually looks sharper with stronger angles. A long face may need more lens height. A smaller face can disappear behind oversized frames. And the top of the frame should generally relate to your brow rather than floating in a completely separate postal code. Then, inspect the product. Check for UV 400 or 100% UVA and UV protection. Make sure the frame sits comfortably without pinching. Look at how the temples meet your head. Check whether the glasses slide when you look down. And most importantly, ask whether the frame looks like part of you or something you borrowed for the afternoon. The best sunglasses do not make people think. Those are expensive sunglasses. They make people think, he looks good. That is the difference between style and advertising. Gucci sells spectacle, Versace sells theater, Prada sells design, Tom Ford sells seduction, Ray-Ban sells familiarity, American Optical sells quiet authority, Randolph sells precision, Maui Jim sells the view. So stop buying the fantasy. Check the protection. Check the fit. Check the frame, then cover the logo and look again. If the sunglasses suddenly seem ordinary, they probably always were, because your eyes need protection. Your face needs proportion, and neither one needs a $400 logo bolted to the side.